I've put my watercolor paints in palettes, trays, tins, and now drawers. This chest of 4 drawers is by Meeden through Amazon. There was a similar item from a different company. I don't recall the name, but I'm familiar with the Meeden name through their palettes and pans, so I decided to go with this one. This is thanks to my good friend who had given me a gift card last month. I was unsure of what to expect. I mean, with any item, there's always one review that's a horror story, such as, "It took 8 months to get here and was covered with corn syrup." And even though the dimension sounded right for my needs, I could imagine the extreme disappointment of finding out that my calculations were off. So it was a relief to open the box and see that it was pretty much exactly as I'd hoped. In my search for a watercolor storage system that would work for how I work, I've gone through several palette configurations, including the common Cotman Sketchers box, the tin with lid and magnets, and the hinged click track type metal box in multiple sizes. And those worked, especially the last one. But I've found that even though I've assembled a main palette now, I often simply pull out several individual pans to work from, the ones to be used on the project of the day. With that little bit of planning, I'm better able to focus on painting rather than second-guessing my color choices. I realize that's not how many people need or even want to work, but I'd like to share this option for those who've also been looking for an alternative to those stacks of tins and boxes laying around, or the plethora of palettes problem, as I like to call it. It sounds like I'm up to my eyeballs in paint, but it really wasn't that dire. I could see it getting to that point, though, since my collection continues to grow. So, in my mind, it was an urgent issue that required a solution yesterday. It wasn't until I was part way into moving the pans that I realized my collection isn't as large as I thought it was. So, whereas I had worried that 4 drawers weren't going to be enough, in actuality, the majority of my watercolor pans could fit in 1 drawer. That's great. I can add more later. Although I've assembled a Da Vinci brand palette for producer Mike, I hadn't yet poured any full pans for myself. So, at some point, those will be added to the chest, and the pan filling footage will be coming later this month. During all of this, the configuration changed multiple times, and honestly, it's still in flux. Since this recording, I've moved a dozen Polychromos color pencils into one of those sections. I did get one tiny splinter while handling the box. No biggie for me. It was certainly less painful than the cut I got while opening a can of coffee that same day. And if you're wondering how that can happen, there's a foil-like seal with a pull tab. Well, my left hand was holding down the can. When I ripped off the seal with my right hand, the edge caught on a left-hand finger. Then I was asked if there's any difference between cuts caused by paper, cardboard, and foil. Yes, there is a difference in both pain and damage levels. But Hello Kitty Band-Aids make it all better. One idea is to line the drawers with a very thin sheet of foam or felt to reduce rattling noises. Those can be found at craft stores, and they come in sticky-backed versions and are easy to cut to size. My idea for a swatch chart will be to make one that will fit between those two bars on top. The colors won't necessarily represent their exact positions, but rather their color section, which is fine since every pan is labeled, and I'll leave room on the chart for subsequent additions. I don't intend to keep my tubes in this, but I wanted to show that they do fit. The 15 ml size seems to just barely brush the underside of the drawer above it. So while they don't get squished or anything, I'm not comfortable storing them in this. So yeah, I'll find something else to store the tubes. The color on my nails there is black tie from Sally Hansen's Diamond line, and I'm kicking myself for not wearing it during the Moonglow session. It's kind of similar to Moonglow, dark purple with nice shifty stuff going on. One thing, I don't have a second chest to test this out, but it looks like stacking two chests, they would just rest on each other's top and bottom bars, meaning it wouldn't be interlocking, and the top one could potentially slip off, making for a loud racket and a jumbled mess of pens and M-gram stickiness. So now you know what I've got packed in my drawers. We'll see if this system works in the long term, but for now, I think it's pretty awesome. Thanks for stopping by to share in the experience. Until next time, watch your fingers and, hey, maybe stay artsy too.